Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome. We're going to get everyone in. All right, everyone's moving back in. Give us 1 second to get everyone here. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate all of you. I hope that you had a great weekend. I know most of us suffered a little bit of inclement weather this weekend, so I hope that you all are safe and cozy at home. We were just talking about the temperature where we all are. It's a balmy 14 degrees here. I hope it's warmer wherever you are with a little bit of snow. So thank you all for coming. I just want to make sure that you can hear me. If you can you drop me a little emoji or a little note so that I know how we're functional on our end? Because of the weather, I've had a few perfect technology issues this morning, so I apologize. All right, well, welcome. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to our first NNA East Coast Ambassador meet and greet. We know it's a holiday for you and hopefully get to spend some downtime today. So we're not going to take up a lot of your time. We just wanted to get together and spend some time just chit-chatting, letting you know who we are and what we do, and that we're a resource for you in your particular state should you choose to use us. And I'm not going to spend all this time doing all of the talking. What I am going to do is we will do a roundtable. Everyone on the call can introduce themselves, state that they're from, what their specialty might be, and then we'll open it up to questions at the end. Certainly want to make sure that you know that we're a resource for everyone. So if, for example, there's someone on the call who's an expert in general notary work or loan signings or trust, but they're not your particular state, it does not mean that you can't utilize their resources. We certainly want you to know they're a resource for everyone going forward. So I am going to go ahead and turn this over to someone else so they can have a minute to chit chat. So I will go ahead and turn it over to Christine, my first guest here. Christine, do you want to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do, who you are, what state you're in?
Good morning, Marcy. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I'm from the state of Michigan, and I work for the city of Rochester Hills. And I do general notary work. I am not really in a position right now to build a business, but I like to help other people and do consulting, brainstorm. So if you have questions about things you're running into and building your business, I'm always available to talk to. I believe somewhere in here you'll have my work number, my contact information, but I'm just so glad to be here and ready to help anyone that needs to discuss what they need help with. Thank you, Marcy.
I muted myself so you wouldn't hear my dog bark in the background. Thank you so much, Christine. We certainly appreciate you. Judy, do you want to go next and introduce yourself?
Do.
There you go.
Welcome, everyone. So nice to see everyone here today. And I've been looking at the weather in different parts of the country, and I hope that you're warm and safe. And I know Illinois is about 10 degrees below zero, and they can't really go outside. So I hope that you're warm and safe and things are good for you. I'm in Philadelphia. I have two businesses. Actually, I have three businesses now, but I have a general notary business and I have an apostille business. And then I teach people how to become apostille agents. So I'm busy, I'm happy, and I think that the notary community and now the apostille community, we are so blessed to be with these kind of people who are sincere and want to help other people while they make some money, because we all want to make some money. And if anybody would like to talk to me at any time, I'm always available. And I will post my phone number in the chat. And again, thanks for being here today. It's great. And let's give a thanks to Marcy, who, I mean, I helped, but she really put this together. So let's give a hand to Marcy, because when you work with Marcy, she's the girl who gets it done.
Wow, I didn't pay Judy nearly enough to say all those nice things about
Yeah,
me.
well,
So
I'm waiting for the check.
it's in the mail. The check is in the
Okay.
mail.
Okay, good. Good.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate you all. I also want to make sure too, in the registration, I put everyone's LinkedIn bio as well. So if you don't have their contact information here, you can certainly reach out to them that way also. But yes, feel free to the panelists who are on currently to go ahead and drop your contact information in there as well. I also want to ask Judy, do you want to talk a little bit about Philly Social and what that is?
Oh, twist my arm. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, I can do it. This will be our fourth Philly Social. I'm very excited about this one because we are going to be at the Notary Hotel. And the Notary Hotel is a fabulous place. And if you want to know a little bit about it, I don't want to spend your time talking about this, but just Google the Notary Hotel. And I'll just tell you that when you come in and you check in, they stamp your hand and everything in there is all like about notaries, and it's beautiful. And we're going to have our event right in the hotel. We've always been in venues. We've never been in a hotel. So we're going to do that. For the second year in a row, my friend down here, Mr. Daniel C. Lewis, is going to open our festivities for us. And if you happen to have been there last year, he's insane. He's so good. And he just makes everybody so glad they're there. And we have lots of people and lots of things and lots of great speakers. And I hope that you're all planning to be there. We would love to have you. And right now, there is a discount for $100 off between now and Valentine's Day. So I think that that's a great gift for someone that you love. Send them to Philly Social. And I think Marcy is going to be a sponsor. Am I correct?
I am. Yep, I'm sponsoring this year.
Right. And so if anybody has any questions about the event or about, coming to the event, just chat me up.
All right.
Marcy, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Okay, I'm known for that phrase, by the way.
Yes.
On January 27th, I'm hosting an event. It's called 60 Apostille Minutes. And 60 Apostille Minutes yes, it's named after 60 minutes. And you're going to have 1 minute to ask a question, and the panelists will only have 3 minutes to answer it. And after 3 minutes, it's done, and the next person gets to ask their next question. I have 4 people. I have California, Texas, Florida, and of course, Pennsylvania, and Amy, which is Ohio, now Florida. And we have Judy Gold and Lori Ham are going to be there so that if we get in trouble and a question needs clarification, one of them will be there to clarify. It's a free event. I think it's going to be something that no one's ever done before. And I'm going to put the link in the chat, and hopefully, and afterward, if this needs tweaking, we're going to let you tell us how to tweak it so we can do it again. So join us. Marcy, please try to join us. It's 1 hour. 1 hour, 60 minutes. And if you watch like a presidential debate, at the end they say, we're out of time, but we hope to see you next month. So please try to join. And I'm going to put both links in the chat.
Awesome. And all those individuals are amazing resources. Lori and Judy, I've met and
we have
got to hear speak a million times. You couldn't ask for 2 better individuals to have a conversation.
They're really there for clarification. Eileen Bonner is from California. Kim Downey is from Texas. Melissa Garner is from Florida.
Love Melissa.
Yeah, Amy's from Ohio now, running around the country in her RV, and me, and we'll be the panel. But I wanted them to be there in case we hit a question that need some kind of clarification from the two smartest people I know, besides Daniel, of course. And Daniel, are you there? Because you haven't made one sarcastic remark to me yet.
I am here. Hopefully you
Hey.
can hear me.
Well, that was a perfect lead-in to let Daniel now go ahead and introduce himself and
Okay.
tell us all about. There he is.
Hey, you.
Oh, okay. I was on mute. Sorry about that. First, I want to say, Marcy, again, I want to just follow Judith and said, thank you for putting this together. This is awesome. Collaboration is the key for everything. And yes, I am going to be at the Philly Social because the Philly Social is the event in the fall. If you're not at the Philly Social and you're on the East Coast, if you're on this call, you have to be at the Philly Social. And that's at the Notary Hotel, right, Judith?
It's at the Notary Hotel, Daniel, and your reservation is made. And we do not start our festivities without you. I'm not going to tell a lie right now. I just got a text. Diane's not here yet, and somebody needs 40 apostilles. So I'm going to mute myself for 5 minutes and try to see if I can snag 40 apostilles on this holiday.
Oh my gosh, go ahead. We got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got it. I'm just a little bit about myself. I've been a full-time notary since 2001. That's a couple of years now, just 2 or 3 years as a full-time notary. I started off as a notary signing agent doing all real estate assignments. Now I do mostly general notary work. I teach title producers classes in both Indiana and Virginia. Now I'm looking forward to the National Notary Association conference that's going to be down in Orlando. I heard that's going to be one of the best conferences ever. Looking forward to Philly Social. I also am looking forward to Maryland Notary Day, and I also do notary meetups. I've done meetups all over the country, do it here in Indiana. And if you're out trying to figure out how to put together a meetup, definitely let me know and I can help with that. I've done meetups last year in Virginia, Indiana, and there was one other place, I can't think of it right now, but yeah, the meetups are a lot of fun. And in the last quarter of this year, we're putting together a notary mastermind cruise leaving out of New Orleans, hitting some of the ports down in the Caribbean. So if you're interested in that, that'd be great. Or even speaking opportunities might be available, and also sponsorship opportunities might be available. I'll put a link in the chat if you want more information about that. Back to you, Madam Marcy.
I'm so excited. I'm not going on this cruise because I get motion sickness and I'm not sure I'll be able to handle that. But I love the idea of this. So I just want to ask, what are your thoughts? Because it's educational, right? Could this be a business expense for our taxes? What are we thinking here? Could we mix business and pleasure and maybe do something along those lines? Should we ask our accountants to make sure? What do we think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm writing the cruise off myself, but I'm not a tax professional, but I'm writing the cruise off myself. If you are a notary out of Indiana or Virginia, you'll get at least, there's opportunity, you get 7 hours of continuing education on your TPL. And it's also great for just general notary work. We're going to have somebody there that's talking about estate planning and how notaries are so crucial in estate planning. So yes, I'm not a tax professional, but I would highly recommend, if you're trying to take your business to the next level, this Notary Mastermind Cruise is definitely right up your alley.
It's so fun. I'm so excited to hear all about it. Daniel is an amazing resource in the community. He's all over the place, and I highly recommend, if you are looking to engage someone in your community as a notary, you want to get other notaries involved, he would be a great resource for you. If you've never been to a Maryland Notary Day, and this was my first year, this past year, it was incredible. I highly recommend it. You couldn't ask for two better people than Miss Elaine and Miss Wanda to host something like that. So 100%, if you have the ability to do that, you absolutely need to do that. All right, Miss Betty, I'm so happy they were able to make it. Miss Betty said, I can't make it. I have always appointments. And then of course, everyone had bad weather. And so she all her appointments got canceled. So while I do feel for you, I'm so happy for us that you got to make it. Do you want to jump on and talk a little bit about yourself and what you do and who you are?
Okay, can you hear me? I'm on my phone. The link won't work on my
Yes,
computer.
yes, absolutely.
All right, I'm Betty. I'm a notary here in the state of Tennessee. I do both traditional and remote. And right now I'm working with the state of Tennessee trying to get biometrics passed for Ron. Because I'm tired of sending everybody away to other states because they can't pass KBA. And I've gotten about 82 new notaries into the loan signing business, and I work with them and train them, and we send work back and forth to each other. And I'm also working with a few trying to get them on to Ron.
We love that. We love that collaboration. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Betty. We appreciate you. Deborah. Hi, Deborah.
Hi there. Good morning, everyone.
Hi, good
Marcy, I
morning.
just want to piggyback off of the other panelists. Thank you for putting this together. Thank you for having me on the panel. It's a great idea. So I am Deborah Chambliss out of New Jersey. I was appointed an NNA Ambassador in September. So I am a newbie in this capacity. However,
Welcome. We're so happy about that.
I'm so happy to be here. And so background, I come from a corporate legal background. So I'm a paralegal of 20 plus years. So I have had my notary commission for 20 years. I have been performing apostilles for 20 years and happy to help. I, like many people, went from that corporate legal background in the pandemic and due to some very, very aggressive marketing by NNA's Influencer of the Year, Mark Wills, I became a mobile notary. So in doing that, I came across Judy's NNA replay where she spoke about apostilles. My jaw hit the floor. I'm like, what? I can make money doing something I've been doing for decades as an employee? So I was ecstatic. I'm happy to be here, learning, growing, sharing, and reach out if I can be of any assistance. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And that's a testament, I think, to the individuals in the notary community who've really put forth their knowledge and information, right, for other notaries to benefit from that. So thank you, Deborah, so much for bringing that up, and for Judy and everyone else who's contributed their time over the course of however long it's been, we'll just say. I also want to talk about a little bit the NNA Ambassador Program before I move on, is that Deborah's new to the Ambassador Program. We love that. Some of us have been here longer than others. Certainly, the Ambassador Program is open. So if you are an individual in your state who wants to help others, who feels that you would have the qualities to make a good ambassador, certainly reach out to the NNA, to their ambassador page. I'll try to put it on here, that you can go ahead and submit your application. The more the merrier, right? These are the kind of things that we like to do to help the notary community. We don't look at ourselves as competition in this group of people. We really feel like we're resources for one another in our community. So if you are like-minded, we certainly urge you to go ahead and join. I'm going to turn it over to Davida, though. Hi, Davida.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All righty. I am a mobile notary and I am an NNA ambassador. I've been an ambassador for a few years now, if I recall. And I'm in the state of Delaware, which is, as most know, an attorney state, but I got involved in 2018 is when I started. My former background, I came from education. I was a teacher in New York City public schools for most of my career. And then I ventured into healthcare as a medical assistant, and then I had to go on long-term disability. So that's when I decided, what could I do? I have to do something else to keep income. I was a single mother at the time, raising 2 sons, and I had a friend of mine who spoke about being a notary in my state. So with her help and my, resources, I actually did not take, I was self-taught. I didn't take any courses. I just got on the computer, read, researched, and with her help, I was able to become and obtain my commission in the state of Delaware. Not long after, I became a loan signing agent. and I love doing what I'm doing. I guess it's falls right in line with my people service, teaching, healthcare. So I do this full time. I wear multiple hats. I'm also a caregiver. And as I said, my youngest son, I'm empty nester. He's 20, but he's also a student athlete at Vassar. So it's this time of year, I'm back and forth upstate to Poughkeepsie, watching him, supporting him. But yesterday, I had the opportunity to attend my very first networking event, which was sponsored by Notary Today. Was Teresa Brown Paris, I believe her name. Met wonderful, wonderful individuals. Was a Delaware brunch, Notary brunch. It was excellent. Excellent, very intimate, small, but the turnout was great. The conversation, the information, it was just so awesome. Yvette Brown was there, other people there was a woman who does signing. So there was a woman that spoke fluent with Spanish speaking. So there are a wealth of people out there. You just have to network, and that's what it was all about. And like I said, I will continue to put myself out there. I'm available to anyone. If you're in the Delaware area, reach out to me. I'm an admin of a Facebook group, professional network for women notaries and signing agents. I'll put that in the chat. I have a website. My business is Elevate Business Solutions, LLC. And I love what I do. I really have a passion for this. And this is what I plan to retire in the next 3 years to continue doing this when I start collecting my teacher's retirement pension. But it's wonderful to finally meet everybody, here today, and anybody looking for information, have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Definitely, I'm here for you. Like they said, collaboration over competition. I'm a resource. So that's about me.
Thank you so much, Davida. And if you could put that Facebook group in the chat, we would love
Will
that, because we love good Facebook groups,
Okay.
right? Not all groups are created equal.
That's why
so
I
we wanna-
created one, because I didn't feel comfortable, and I wanted a safe space, and I wasn't
Sure.
finding that. So that's what made me start that.
No, we love that. We appreciate that. And it's good for me to know, because I've seen numerous notaries popping up who are now in the state of Delaware. So it's good to know that, because I can refer them to your group, because I know they have questions. Melissa, how are you today?
Oh, love you. Hi guys. Sorry can you hear
No,
me?
you're fine.
Okay, sorry if it's really loud. I'm in a volleyball tournament. We've had a 4-day volleyball tournament for my daughter's traveling competition team, so it's extremely loud. I am one of the newest NNA ambassadors for Florida. I'm located in the Tampa area. Oh yes, and go Steelers, whoever said that at the bottom. I don't have my glasses on, but I saw Steelers. I can see that anywhere. I am, like I said, one of the newest Florida NNA ambassadors. I am also a Florida registered paralegal. I've been in the legal field here in Florida for 17 years, been commissioned in Florida the same amount of time. Retired Army, so I have a military background, a background in family law and personal injury as far as the legal field goes. I am also a wedding officiant, which is one of my very, very favorite things besides general notary work. And I stay extremely busy with weddings. I also do a lot of mentoring, socials, get-togethers, networkings, like monthly, like the 26th of this month in Tampa area. I'm going to have our first of the year get-together for like a speed networking social luncheon. And we try to do it monthly if possible. Sometimes monthly is too much unless we just get together in small groups. But at least quarterly, we get together and I host some kind of training, networking, get together just to build our network. I have a private Facebook group as well for mentoring and networking. It's at Notarizing Tampa. All of my socials are at Notarizing Tampa, actually. So if anyone's in the Florida area or knows anyone in the Florida area that needs help, it's a safe space, like you guys were saying before, to come ask questions, get help without being judged or having to put yourself out there in just a whole open public group. It's a private group where we can communicate and support each other. So that's it for me. It's nice to meet everybody. I hope to see a lot of you at the conference. If you're coming, this will be my first in-person conference, and I'm really excited about it.
Yes. So I feel the need to say go Bills, because why not? Right. And I am a house divided. I am a diehard Bills fan. My brother is a diehard Steelers fan. So we did not talk much at all this week, and we probably won't talk again until tomorrow, maybe, depending on how we feel about this. So I'm glad everyone's going to be safe. It's going to be an amazing game. If you're not a football person, I'm so sorry that we veered off in this direction for a minute. Yes, the NNA conference. If you've never been to the conference, and this is kind of why we really thought about doing this now, is that typically conferences are West Coast. And for those of us on the East Coast, that can be a haul and very expensive, right? I always complain when I have to fly out and go through Atlanta and end up somewhere, and I'm always delayed. So I love that it's in Florida this year. I highly recommend, if you can swing it, it will be well worth it. I know there are lots of conversations, or there have been in the past, about, is it really worth it? Can I take the kind of time off? And I'm going to say it is. And I always like to tell this about the conference, is that I didn't really believe it was worthwhile either. And then one year I was nominated for Notary of the Year. Daniel Lewis, who was on, is a Notary of the Year, so props to him. And so, of course, I went, and it was phenomenal. I loved every minute of it. All the people that I got to meet, let me know on the call right now, some of them in the chat as well here that we've met over the years. You know, you build a collection of resources, right? Not only with the people that are there, but the speakers and the information that's given. And it truly is a great resource. It's like the one time a year that I get to see people that I normally don't ever get to see. And some of them have become good friends that I talk to throughout the year. So it's a great resource. I don't want to be the only person who promotes this. Is there anybody else who wants to talk about their experience at conference? Because, oh, Judy, go ahead.
You're muted, Judy.
Oh, yeah, I'm mute.
And Marcy, would you put the date in the chat? Someone just asked, when is it? Oh, someone beat you to it. May 13th to 15th, she thinks. Melissa. Okay.
I went to my first, I think it was 2016 or 17. And I will tell you that you learn a lot, but you also make invaluable contacts with people that are no longer just a name, that then you can call them or they can call you, and you know who the person is. There's a lot of networking time. There's a lot of time to meet people, talk about what you do, talk about what they do. And it's, believe it or not, many people are looking for somebody either in their area or in another state where they happen to get a lot of business and they want to collaborate. So if you can swing it, if your budget allows, if time allows you to do it, it is a great experience. And as I always say, after you go to the first one, you'll do everything you can to go to every one after that, because some of the places are great, but the people are outstanding.
True. It really is true. I know we're not here as a commercial. It's just, I want to make sure that everyone knows it is a resource out there for you. But as you've heard on this call, everyone has something going on in their particular state as well. And there are tons of good meetups and conferences across the country, and certainly here on the East Coast, that if you have the ability to attend, you certainly should consider it. I know sometimes a notary feels like you're kind of out on an island by yourself, and that's not true. I feel that way sometimes too, but that's why I have all my notary friends. For anyone who doesn't know me on the call, my name is Marcy Tiberio. I am an ambassador here in New York State. As you can see above me, I recently, this past year, we launched the New York Notary Alliance. It is a trade association for notaries here in New York State. I'm incredibly excited about that. We are a resource for notaries throughout the state in education and information and advocacy. So if you don't know about us or haven't heard about us, you can certainly jump onto our website. We have lots of free resources in front of the paywall and in our Facebook group as well. But we are a resource for you, just like all of these other wonderful ambassadors. And we certainly don't want to neglect in thanking the NNA for allowing us the opportunity to be ambassadors and to be resources. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the questions. Is there anything that you'd like to ask these fabulous array of people who are on right now? It can be a notary-related question, a wedding officiant question, an apostille question, a general question about the NNA. We're certainly happy to answer whatever questions you might have. We're of course going to go ahead. This is being recorded. We'll send it out to afterward in case you want to re-listen to it or share it with your notary friends. And hopefully, if you guys think this is worthwhile and valuable, we can continue doing this once a quarter or a couple times a year to have a conversation. So are there any questions, anything you'd like to ask any of these panelists? Do any of my panelists have anything that you'd like to add or say?
I'd be happy to join in while our folks type in some questions for us. I've been getting some communications lately via social website where new notaries are asking, or they're commenting, then asking questions. The first comment is, it's so expensive, to try and do everything that you see doing. Is the NNA membership worth the additional expense? I tell everyone absolutely. And not because I'm an NNA ambassador. When I was going through the application process, they would ask me, so what's my biggest value that I see from being an NNA member? And why would I want to be an ambassador? The hotline, folks, is amazing. And being here on the East Coast and the NNA folks primarily on the West Coast, we have that resource up until about 9 p.m., right? So it's like 6 p.m. East or West Coast, which is 9 p.m. Eastern. So for those that are doing loan signings and you're at the table and you're at the signing table and the signer has a question, and it pertains to not just loan signings, but notarizations, it's great to say, you know what, I don't know the answer, but if you give me 2 minutes, I can make a phone call. I have yet to have anyone ever say when I was doing loan signings, no, we're not going to let you take the time to answer the call. They don't want to have their documents delayed or rejected. So they're like, do what you got to do. We're happy to wait while you get an answer to our questions. So the membership hotline alone, it's totally worth it because you have that resource, from 9 a.m. Eastern until 9 p.m. It doesn't get much better than that.
Deborah, I nicknamed the hotline a national treasure.
I like that.
It's a national treasure, and ask Nicola because it stuck, and it doesn't get better than that.
Nope.
You're right, because you can call them, and most of us, or a lot of us, we already know the answer, but we're calling them for clarification to say, this is what I really think I should do, but can you make sure that I'm doing it right? And they're fine with that.
Yeah.
They're fine with it. And clarification is, we all, need that sometimes. And if you have any doubt about the NNA, they're there for you. They are, they're big, it's a big organization, and they're not, going to hold your hand every minute of every day. That's not going to be the case, but they're there for you. And there are lots of courses and lots of things that you can do. And I also agree with you. If you can afford it, it's the best membership.
So we do have a question, and it is, as a newer notary in NSA, what is your advice on getting more assignments in the context that many services seem very hesitant to work with us, and some specify only a few training programs that are willing to work with? Do you guys have any advice or tips for new notary signing agents out there who need to get more work? I know Daniel does.
you have some advice for people trying to get more work. First, I just have to let you know, just as a disclaimer, I consider notary work, because I've been doing it for so long, I consider it actually a business. I don't consider it as some type of side hustle, side gig, something I do here and there. I consider it a business. So I approach that as a business. So what I'm saying is every year, just give you a insight to my thought process. Every year, from the beginning of starting my business, because I consider it as a business. And when I say business, it's something that pays my mortgage, pays my bills, pays for my kids' college, pays for all my vacations. That's how I consider my notary business. And I take that seriously. So every year I write up a business plan. This year is a leap year. Of course, I know that because I wrote up a year's business plan back in October. So that's how I say you should approach it. Whenever I hear the question, how can I get more business? I always ask, well, let me see your business plan. And the person usually say, business plan, what's that? I'm just waiting on the phone to ring. That's not a business. That's just you waiting on, that's a side hustle or something you hope to have work. And hope isn't a strategy, a business strategy, just being real here. You have to have a business plan. You have to write up a marketing plan. You have to write up a social media plan in these days. You have to write up what your expenses are, how to hit your expenses and how to exceed your expenses. Because after all, none of us want more month to our money where we're running out of money on the 20th and we still have 10 more days of the month. So you got to consider this as a business plan and write up a business plan. And for those of who never wrote a business plan, like me, never wrote a business plan, there's resources like SCORE in every neighborhood. That's SCORE.org. You can go to SCORE and they can help you. It's a free resource. They work with a small business administration to write up a business plan. Definitely have your business not be one-dimensional, meaning I'm only doing real estate assignments when the interest rates are high and the inventory for real estate is low. Think of like what Judith was saying, apostille work, going to conferences, definitely making contacts at conferences, coming to events like this, reaching out to Marcy, following Marcy on LinkedIn and Facebook, and following all these resources to really help you with your business. I started off doing 100% real estate. Now I do almost 95% general notary work, and I am flat busy all the time. So you have to think of this as a business, not a part-time side hustle, whatever, in order to maintain. And you should have a business plan written out for the entire year. This year, like the first quarter, a lot of people, like Melissa said, are getting married. A lot of people are getting married on leap day, February 29th. So get your wedding officiant gig going. A lot of people are doing estate planning the first quarter, last quarter of the month, so you can have something that focuses on how do I position myself to work with estate attorneys and elderly attorneys on estate planning. You can focus on that. You can work with Marcy. Marcy just formed the Notaries Alliance, which is helping you network with other notaries at no cost. You can just go work with Marcy on that. There's so many things you can do to really be in a position where you're turning down business, not looking for business. So just keep in mind, I know I'm talking a lot, but this is a business, not a side hustle or side gig or anything like that. It's a legitimate business, so work that way. Hopefully, back to you, Miss Marcy.
I want to piggyback on something that
Yeah.
you just said. I agree with 100%. This is a business, and it's a service business, and we are allowing people to put their trust in us. We tell people they can trust us, and we act with integrity, and we know what to do. And for that reason, it is my suggestion that people take some training. I know on Facebook, people say, I don't need training. I know everything. I know how to do it. And I know. And then the same people put a document on Facebook with a redacted with redacted information and say, where do I notarize this? And, you know, it's just mind-boggling to me that, you know, we take an oath and we say we're gonna be, you know, trustful, if that's the word, and that they can trust us. But if it's whatever you're gonna do, take a little bit of training. Before you do anything else, and I'm an apostille trainer, but before you do anything else, take some good notary training, because half the documents that get rejected or that are no good are because the notary was not correct. A lot of people are going out now and they're saying, oh, you need your will signed? Oh, thank you, Deborah. Oh, you need your will signed? Oh, you need this? Oh, you need that. I can do it. But they don't, and they can't, and they don't know when an acknowledgement is necessary, and they don't know about an oath. And so what I'm saying is, Daniel is right. This is a business. And you wouldn't go into any business without researching and finding out how am I going to be good at this business? You know, I mean, if you've taken my class, you'll hear I have the Judy Lawrence toothpaste theory. And you know, you buy toothpaste if you're a drugstore, you buy toothpaste. So you say, I want a case of Crest and I want a case of Colgate and I want a case of Sensodyne. Send it to me with an invoice. I'll pay you for it. You put them on the shelves and you sell them. But notaries aren't like that. We're not toothpaste. We need to know, what can we do? What can't we do? What should we do when a person comes to us and says, well, you know my mother, and you've known my mother for many years, and Mama signed it, and you've done notaries for her before, and she's not here, so sign it anyway. You know, I mean, come on, this is me. No, I got to see Mama sign the document. I love Mama. She's been here many times, but I got to see Mama sign the document. And that is what you learn in training. That is what you learn. And if you take a training course and it costs you a little bit of money, you will get that money back in spades, because you will be doing such an excellent job, whether it's apostilles, whether it's Ron, whether it's field inspection, doesn't matter what it is. You gotta make your basic notary skills good first. So then what Daniel says is the next step. You're going into business, but you're going into business knowing how to conduct the business. And I see Marcy smiling. So Marcy, can you jump in on that?
Yeah, I with everything everyone says. Listen, the thing about being new is that we were all new at one point, right?
Right.
For some of us, it took us years and years to build our business. And I know there's this conversation about, you know, the market's oversaturated. It's not oversaturated. There are too many notaries. There aren't too many notaries. I think we have to be realistic that in some areas there are a lot of notaries, and that determines, you know, competition for your business. That does not mean that there's not work out there. What it means is that you've got to do a little bit of market research, right? So to start with, I don't think that being new is bad. You know, I work with a lot of notaries, both daily in my alliance, but also in my, you know, my notary signing company. And I can tell you that on a daily basis, we remove people from my signing company for not doing a good job, for not doing the right things. So it is not like everyone out there is getting a lot of work. They may get some work and then they do something wrong or they get removed for whatever reason. And in times of slowdown with the housing market, you see a weaning of the industry, right? Loan officers start to leave, underwriters leave, notaries leave, right? Because they got in when it was super busy. They don't know how to market themselves. They don't know where to get the work from. It came to them when it was busy. Now that it's slow and you have to actually work for that, many of them don't know how to do that or don't want to, so they leave. So I'm not saying that that's a good or bad thing. I'm saying that that's part of it. So don't give up hope in that space. But you have to find a way to make yourself stand out as well, right? You could be the world's best notary, and if no one knows that, no one knows it. So I always say that that's the next part of the problem, right? You can be a great notary, but you have to find a way in. And sometimes that means doing things outside of the box. That means stopping by your local title company. That means picking up the phone and calling, right? For years and years and years, there was regular mail, and then we moved to email. I just said to someone the other day, I must get a million emails in my email box, right? Every single day, trying to sell me something. Notaries don't really show up for me that way anymore because I get so many emails. But if someone calls me, right? No one calls anybody anymore. That makes a difference. If you mail me a postcard, I have a notary who mails me a postcard every time she goes on vacation, not because she wants me to feel bad because she's on vacation and I'm not, because she wants me to remember her, right? And say, hey, I'm out of town these days, Marcy. So, I want you not to know that I'm not answering you. I'm gone. I'll be back. When I started as a notary, I did little things like I would send out little chapsticks or little mints, and there would be a label on there that would say, my name is Marcy, I'm a notary. You can kiss your notary problems goodbye, right? Chapstick mints. It's a little corny and a little bizarre, but people remember that. Then I would go to a conference and someone would be like, oh my gosh, you're the chapstick lady, or you did this at the last conference. Little things like that make a difference. And I know that this sounds like, well, it could be expensive. It really isn't. It's super cheap to buy a dozen chapsticks and put a little thing on them, or make up your own little postcard, or drop cookies off. You've got to find a way into these places. The last part of this, I'll let someone else jump in, is that tell everyone you're a notary. This is like the cheapest, easiest way for people to know what you do. No one knows, right? I say this about my family all the time. If you ask my family what I do, they're like, she does closings. Right, my daughter's a notary, and that's what they think that I do. There's more to it than that, but at the base level, that's super important. Your friends, your family, the waitress at your favorite diner, the bank teller, everyone needs to know that you're a notary, whether you leave a business card or a pen that's branded for you or whatever you need to do. I just changed my business cards over to have a QR code with my link tree on it that has all of my social media, my website, right? An easy scan and import into their phone. I want to make life as easy as possible, but people need to know, because you don't know who knows someone else. And you never know when in a conversation, someone randomly will say, hey, I was looking for a notary, couldn't find someone, or I do a lot of estate work and no one has my information. And then that person says, oh my gosh, my daughter, son, cousin, girlfriend is a notary. I'm going to pass along your information. For me, with my work, probably 90% or more is by word of mouth and referral. Always has been, always will be. This past year was the first time I actually tried to do other marketing techniques, and I can still say 90% is still someone giving my name out. So if you're new and you're on this call, please don't be discouraged. Don't. You will make it if you just keep plugging along. Just tell everybody. All right, that's me done talking for now. Anybody else have anything they want to add to that or talk about or say Marcy's completely wrong? Yeah, Deborah, go ahead.
I do. In addition to that, again, what I'm getting, which I don't know, what it is. My daughter is a college student, so I'm also getting communication from college students or recent college grads who want to work in the notary business or the notary world. But again, funds are low, and I get that. As a college student, right? You don't have a lot of time, a lot of money. So what I tell everyone, piggybacking off what Daniel said, take advantage of free resources. And the best free resource, if you don't already have it, a Google business profile or a Google business page. It doesn't cost a dime, folks. So again, to piggyback off of what Marcy says, no one can get you business if they don't know you're in business. And the best way to do it is to have a Google business profile. Post it. What I do, I tell other people in different industries, take pictures of the things that you do. You can block out or redact certain information, but let it be known, oh, this person has experience. Because when they're looking through a sea of notaries, you do need to separate yourself. Something else Daniel said, it doesn't have to be loan signings. Everyone knows it took a dip because we were dealing with record-breaking all-time low interest rates in 2020, 2021, started going downhill in 2022. So don't rely on just loan signings. By having a Google business page up, people can contact you when they need to have their documents notarized because you're already in the capacity and mindset of being a mobile notary. The next thing I would suggest, if you're going to treat it as a business, you got to get rid of the gmail.com, the yahoo.com, the AOL.com. There are opportunities for, in your area, depending on where you are, for businesses to utilize your services. They don't take people seriously who have those extensions. It looks like, okay, yeah, you just graduated from high school, you're throwing pasta at the wall trying to see what's going to stick. Google Workspace allows you to get a domain for relatively no money. I mean, $6 a month after you purchase that domain. Now, this may sound like a lot of technical stuff. It's not. When you start researching, you will figure out how easy it is to set up the Google business page or Google business profile, as well as a website with the domain of your choosing. Key number one, when you are working as a business person, you have to take initiative. You cannot wait. The difference between being an employee and an employer, even if your employer is just, you're an employer of one, yourself, you can't wait. When you're an employee, right, you go to your supervisor and you say, hey, I can't figure this out. Some supervisors will sit down and walk you through it. Somebody else might say, go figure it out. You got the internet, figure it out. And you may take offense to that. But when you're a business owner, you got to start. You got to understand it's about you doing the research yourself. You've got to put the time in. And when you start that, you'll start to see that things open up because you weren't aware, excuse me, you weren't aware of them. So once you become aware, then you can learn more and then you grow more. I'm going to get off the soapbox now. Thank you.
No, that was great information. And I'm looking for this resource. It's so funny that you said that. I just sent out in my newsletter to my group this week that there is a new feature for your Google business profile where you can schedule a call with a Google profile expert. It's $40. And during this call, they will actually walk through your entire business profile and tell you what needs to be fixed and how to optimize it, which I think is amazing. It's $40, right? That's such a little amount of money to have them go through and tell you, you need to add more pictures here or post there. I did it myself to see, and they were super helpful. You get to pick all of these different things and call as long as you want. So I'm going to try to find that and throw it in the chat. But yeah, great resource and good opportunities there. Is there anything? Yes, the Google websites did go away. Whoever posted that, but your Google business profile is still there and available for you, and you should definitely take advantage of that.
And I want to add one thing here.
You're muted again, Judy.
No pretty
You're
names.
mute.
No pretty names. Don't name your notary business like handsome guy in Philly.com or
Crazy cat lady. I use crazy
freaking out
cat lady all the
lady or
time.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
When Deborah is right, you want people A, to take you seriously, and B, you want them to think you've been around for a while and you're gonna be around for a while. So when you say Center City Notary, it sounds, oh, Center City, wow, So me, if I was looking for a notary, I'd say, well, that sounds good because she wouldn't be with the city unless and I'm not with the city, but that is the name of my business. And I think that the other tip that I have and that drives me absolutely bonkers is that people text you and they say, do you have a few minutes? I want to talk to you about my job, but they don't tell you who they are. They don't. They just text you. And like, I don't know who you are. And that means I have to spend that extra few minutes to say, I'm sorry, but can you identify yourself? And then I have to wait till they get back to me. And it would be just so easy if people would understand. People, they think you are the only one. They think that you're the only one. And we get how many texts a day? I can't even keep track of it. I have about 2,000 on my phone right now that I have to go through and get rid of because I'm a pack rat and I keep everybody, I keep thinking I'm going to need it. But no silly names and identify yourself on a text. Hi, this is Judy. Deborah, I may have a job for you. Can you call me back? Not, hey, Deborah, I have a job for you. How do you know who I am? Just a tip.
True, good information. And yes, Beth added, make your business name something SEO friendly or easy to understand,
Yes.
or that talks a little bit about maybe what you do or who you are, all the good
Yes.
things, right? You can certainly be creative in that as well if you'd like to, and then use the SEO optimization piece behind that. There's a lot of work into SEO if you've never
Yes.
done it before. I've recently realized myself. Are there any other questions out there? Anything any of the panelists would like to add before we wrap up this call? I'm so grateful for everyone who came today, both the panelists and the attendees out there. This was our first time doing something like this, and I'm so grateful that everyone took time out of their day to jump in and have a conversation about all things notary. We certainly want to continue this, hopefully going forward with speakers and guests. We talked about bringing some of the NNA people in so you can talk to them one-on-one. They're an amazing resource, or having other speakers come in, or doing short little classes, or conversations around specialty. So if you have any suggestions, we'd certainly love to hear them. You can message any one of us with that information and let us know. I hope that we get to see you at any of these events this upcoming year. Philly Social, or the Maryland Notary Public Day, or take a cruise, right? What an amazing opportunity. I laugh because only Daniel, he's amazing, and I love that he put something together like that. The NNA conference, any of those things are well worth it. And yes, take advantage of all the free resources out there. There are so many free resources. I can't even begin to tell you. And all of the Facebook groups. I think a lot of us on the call probably have a group or are in a group. So certainly join those as well. They're a safe environment to ask questions and things like that. So I'll let everyone give you their goodbye wrap up, and then we will
Before
call
we
it a day.
wrap up, Marcy, we didn't answer Christy's question.
Oh, I'm
Did
so sorry. Did I miss Christy's question?
Anyone running into issues where clients want their wills notarized? So
Yeah.
Christy, I don't know what the word issue means. That's an opportunity. So are they able to speak, or no, Marcy?
Yep, it's Christine.
Christine,
Hi,
do you want
how
to
are you?
elaborate on your question?
Well, what I'm running into is a lot of people are doing do-it-yourself estate planning, and they're bringing in documents and they want their will notarized. And in Michigan, we don't notarize will.
Mhm.
So there's that fine line of being careful not to practice law because we're not attorneys, but at the same time wanting to help the client have their documents finalized in the proper legal way. And a couple of different notary groups in Michigan are having discussions and respectful disagreements about whether or not we can notarize wills. So I was just curious what the group as a whole had to say about that.
Oh, so in the state of New Jersey, we can notarize wills. So I get business from attorneys. I get business from family members who have, a family member in a hospital or an assisted living facility or a nursing home. So that's an excellent way here in New Jersey to piggyback or to connect your remote or mobile notary business with an area of some call an area of specialty. So tying up what everyone else says, again, here in New Jersey, you get the training because you do want to know how to properly notarize the document. So that's in any industry as we're learning. If a title company contacts you, or a bank or an attorney's office, and you say, I can do it, and you go out and you don't notarize the documents properly, they're not going to call you again. So get your training, find out what you can do in your state, and then do it. So here in New Jersey, Christine, we can notarize wills. And you're right, there are a lot of people that are doing it themselves to save on the cost of not having to hire an attorney. But so if I understand you correctly, are you saying in Michigan, you guys are not allowed to notarize wills?
My understanding, and I was a legal secretary for 25 years, is wills are not notarized in Michigan. You have to have two witnesses. So you could be a witness, but they're looking to have two witnesses and a notary, because when they're going online and pulling these documents up, they're not Michigan specific documents that they're using. So I think that's where some of the misunderstanding comes in.
I think, Kristen, is Michigan. I think Michigan might be like New York, where we don't notarize wills here. We notarize a self-proving affidavit with two witnesses. So it's not the actual will itself that gets notarized, it's the affidavit. And sometimes people will do it yourself wills, right? Where they'll write it on a piece of paper or napkin and bring it to you. And we're like, I can't, like, I can't notarize it, right? Because it's against the law to use an acknowledgement here. And you will walk a fine line with the legal term, because I can't tell you, I can't let you pick, right? Because we can't use one, and I can't use a jurat because wills don't get notarized. I can only use the affidavit. So if that's what you're asking, yes, we get a lot of that here in New York. It is a difficult conversation to have, just because you walk a fine line in you know, in giving legal advice, right? Because I don't want to say, hey, you can't do it. And certainly if you do, it's not going to make it any more valid or legal. It still could be called into question without that affidavit. So it does get a little complicated. And I think that we're in the era, and I don't know if you agree, we're kind of in the era where everyone does a lot of do-it-yourself type of things, right? Because there are all these resources now. Yesterday, I think my family and I Googled like 10 things, and I said, what did we do before Google? Like, how did we know anything? And my brother said, we didn't know anything back then, which is not true, but I laughed. But I think that's pertinent to this conversation, and a good thing to talk about out there for everyone is that, you know, people just will jump online. They love free resources. Oh, I can get it from this place or that place or the library or whatever. And not knowing if it's state specific, not knowing if it's the correct document, not knowing if it's not going to be a problem down the road. And I don't think that that's going to change, but certainly anyone else can jump on and disagree with me.
No, I totally agree. We get clients now a lot who come in, hand you the papers and say, I Googled it, so let me show you where you have to sign and let me show you what you have to do. Because they do their research, and whether they're right or wrong, it's a fine line between giving legal advice, because we're not allowed to do that. But when you see something that's really wrong, it's a fine line. I think Google has made our job, and particularly the job of an apostille agent, harder. I think they come into you armed with information. And like a client came in here last week, he said, I only want this apostille in Washington State, in Washington, D.C. And I said, well, why? It's a Pennsylvania document. And he said, because I read on the internet that it can only be done in Washington, D.C. Well, you're laughing. That's because he read that you can only do a federal document in Washington, D.C., but this wasn't a federal document. It was a birth certificate. And so he knew that he was right because he read it and he researched it. And I think when I teach my classes these days, I think that that is a very difficult part of our jobs, because there's so much out there. And if they start reading, so I do agree with that. I think it's made our job a little bit more complicated. My takeaway for my say goodbye, well, I have two takeaways. First of all, if you're in Delaware, New Jersey, or Pennsylvania, I would like to start a group. And if that is interesting to you, call me. I would like to start a group where we can mentor each other, help each other, collaborate with each other, and know each other, so that when we get work, it's not giving it, and I have a lot of opportunities too, because I have a courier business and all that stuff. So if you're interested, call me and let's chat about that. My tip of the day, it's not applicable probably to anyone on this panel, but I don't know who's attending. Answer the phone. I get at least 10 phone calls a week where people say to me, I tried 6 other notaries and nobody answered the phone. You're the first person that answered the phone. And my brain, my little brain says, they may have taken training, they may have invested in this business, they may have gotten that Google My Business page, or they may have gotten that website. and the phone rings and they go, nah, I'll answer that tomorrow. That could be your job. That could be, like, I just missed a call and it's 40 apostilles. And when I called that number back, so far, nobody answered. And that was because I didn't answer the phone. And that's not usual for me. I usually answer every call. And he'll probably call back because he was referred. But answer the phone. Answer the phone. And if you can't answer the phone, then have the thing that says, I'm with a client. I'll be about 20 minutes. I will call you back. We have tools today that allow us to let the client know, I'm not ghosting you. Yes, I'm still in business. I'm right here. I'm working with a client and I'll get right back to you. But for heaven's sakes, everyone is talking about opportunity. And everyone is talking about, oh, well, it's not as good as it was before. And oh, well, the interest rate. Answer the phone. And because there's a lot of work out there. There's a lot of work out there. And Daniel, I bet you answer every call.
Oh, he's on a call now. Are you on a
Oh.
call now?
He is on a call now, I think.
Oh,
So
there
there
you
you
No, I'm
go.
not on a call.
Oh, I was
There
gonna
you
say,
go.
that would have been perfect. You should have told us you
Yeah,
were.
right. I
Just
can't
a
talk to you. I'm
call
on
and
the phone.
perfect
Right.
timing,
Just,
yeah.
just
No.
answer the phone and you'll see that you'll get more work. It's a given. It's a shoo-in. Marcy answers the phone whenever I call her. I could call her on Sunday afternoon. She can call me on Sunday.
Yeah, your
Answer the
phone is
phone.
your best
It
friend
could
and
be,
your
it
worst
could be,
enemy.
it could be your next, it could be your next opportunity. And you give it up, and guess what? They go right down the list until they find someone. Now, after they know you, they may text you and say, hey, I guess you were busy. Can you call me back? Because after they know you and you've done a good job for them, they're more apt to stick with you. But if they don't know you, they're on to that next list
Next.
until they find He's laughing. I like you, Davida, because you always laugh at my jokes. I mean, Deborah, you always laugh at my jokes. But
So true,
yeah,
though.
they'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
They'll go to the next one. And so that's my thing.
Thank you so much, Judy. Anybody else wanna give a last?
Yeah, I want
hurrah?
to just say one last thing before I have to run off and answer my phone and then take another client here. I want to agree with what Deborah said about the opportunity when people call and say, hey, I want you to come and notarize these wills and estate planning. I do a lot of hospitals, nursing homes, assisted living, long-term care facilities, rehabilitation centers. And for some reason, when people have an accident, have a heart attack, stroke, and they're sitting up in the hospital recovering, for some reason, they want to get their wills and stuff done. I don't know why that is, but they want to get their wills and stuff done. But in Indiana, just like Michigan, we don't notarize wills. But like Deborah said, it's an opportunity. A lot of people don't know. They just don't know that. So as the notary, when they're called, I don't try to give them legal advice, but I educate them and say, hey, we don't notarize wills, but I can come and get that taken care of. I always have at least 2 or 3 witnesses I can bring with me in my pocket. Of course, I have to pay the witnesses, but of course, I'm not paying them, they're paying them. And I always give them the quote on how much it is before I come out there, because I do so many wills, living wills, estate planning, financial powers of attorney, healthcare powers of attorney. I do that so much. I already have a quote. I know how far the hospital is. And we just educate them like that. Now, so of course, you're going to have some people that says, I went on the Google University or Facebook University and says, I have to have it notarized. I don't argue with them, because the first thing I tell them is I'm not an attorney, but it's my understanding as a business professional doing this for over 21 years, you have to have 2 witnesses. But I don't argue with anybody. I'm Captain De-escalate. If they want it notarized, I said, I'll come over there and notarize it. But I recommend, as our Secretary of State says, that you talk to an attorney. After I notarize, I'm not going to argue with anybody. If they want to pay me to notarize something that doesn't have to be notarized. Got to remember, you're not an attorney unless some of you are, and you notarize and let them go figure it out, and then they call you back and say, hey, you know what, you were right, can you come back? Of course I could come back. That's a second fee, of course, but of course I can come back and do that. But that's just how I handle that. Always have, if you're in a state that doesn't notarize wills, always have a couple of people you could take with you, or like if you're fortunate like me and I have an office, I have people here that will come in that are background screened and will do the witnessing for me. Hopefully that helps.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Yeah, good opportunities, right? That's the key word here for what we're talking about. It's always about an opportunity, right? Even when you can't notarize something, I tell people all the time, sometimes that's just as valuable as saying yes, right? I can't do this, and here are the reasons why. And people appreciate, especially when it comes to important documentation like estate paperwork. I always think to myself, the reason why they're getting this done is to make their lives easier. If we don't do the right thing for them, that's not going to help them. And heaven forbid we notarize a power of attorney incorrectly and that person becomes incapacitated, and then that power of attorney is not accepted or valid, right? Those are the key things to remember. So sometimes saying no is just as valuable and will bring you customers as saying yes, because they now know you are the expert in your field. You are knowledgeable enough to guide them. And I think that that's so critical. I'm going to say this one thing and then move it on. Money is important, right? That's why we do. I mean, it's our business. We're here to make money. But when you come from a perspective of making money versus being a public servant, your success will not be nearly what it would be if you come from that place of really wanting to help people and do the right thing. That will come back for you. Anybody else that wants to throw in a last minute hoorah, goodbye, thank you? Yeah, Deborah.
Professionalism is key. What we're saying, get training, answer your phone, but more importantly, the way you answer your phone makes a difference. I've called other businesses and they're like, hello?
Hello?
And for a second, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I dial the wrong number? And I'll say, have I reached blah, blah, blah business? Yes. And I'll be thinking, that way to answer the phone. So I understand people still have 9 to 5. So if you're at a desk and before you can get to the door because you don't want to say, good morning, Garden State Apostille Services. Right. Good morning, this is Deborah. May I help you? Right. And then by the time you get to the door, because you don't answer your personal phone that way. Hello, this is Deborah. May I help you? You know what I mean? Unless you see it's a friend or a relative and then you're pulling their chain. But you want to answer your phone professionally because again, cliches are true. Marcy said something earlier. She said, I think it's corny. I'm that corny girl. I'm that cliche chick. You don't get a second chance to make a good first impression.
That's right.
That's my takeaway. Or I leave that with everyone. You do not get a second chance to make a good first impression.
Thank you so much. Davida, do you want to give a wrap up here before we head off?
I just concur with everything everyone else has said, especially it's your integrity that is on the line. Sure. And I've told people I couldn't notarize the signature, especially when it comes to seniors and in hospitals. If I find that the person, because they think they're in the hospital, I can notarize it. But if I ask certain questions and their responses, it let me believe that they're not coherent, they're not unable to do this, I tell them no. And they've gotten upset. I'm like, well, I'm just not the notary for you to do this for you. But I know it's my commission on the line. So you just have to stand firm, stand your ground, and remember it's your integrity and it's your name, basically. So I get out there, but like they said, do your homework, read. Education is key. Everybody in this field is not on equal footing. Let's just say that. So especially when you come to networking, I don't want to refer out a client to someone that doesn't have the same work ethic that I do, because that's a reflection of me. So it's important what Deborah said, Daniel, everybody, Judy, absolutely, I concur. Yeah. But we're here for you
Thank
if you
you.
need it.
And
Yes,
I already
reach
had-
out.
And I already had 4 people respond to me that they would like to be a part of a Jersey, Philadelphia, and Delaware group. So let's get it going. Let's get it going and let's see what we can do with it.
Christine, do you want to say a wrap up?
Yes, I'd like to. Thank you, Marcy. I'd like to circle back to what you were talking about, business availability. I think it's so important, and you reiterated this, the person-to-person relationships. And I can't stress enough that you need to be involved in your community, whether it's your Rotary group, whether it's a local business network group, which there are several in my area. There's leadership programs at our local colleges, our local universities. Let's start mentoring some of these college-age students to get into notary work. Talk to banks, talk to other notaries and notary businesses to let them know that you're there and you're willing to refer business to them and vice versa. Can't stress enough the people-to-people relationship building, because in this day and age of AI and technology and computers and texting, we're starting to lose that people-to-people connectivity, and that is so crucial to all of our businesses to keep that and to keep developing that. So thank you so much from Michigan, and really appreciate everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Those relationships are critical in what we do, especially when you're looking for repeat business or, like I said, word of mouth or referrals. Certainly people, I know we're moving away from that, maybe the younger generations, but there's still that need for, right? I think we saw that during COVID. People wanted to connect with other people. It's just a critical part of what we do. Betty, do you want to do a wrap up? I may have lost Betty. Okay. Well, again, I'm so grateful and appreciative to everybody who attended today. Thank you so much. We really were excited to do something along with these lines here as NNA ambassadors to help and promote, and certainly join Judy's group or attend all the conferences. And we will, I have all of your emails who attended today. So when we decide to do this again, we'll certainly make sure to reach out to you and share with your friends, share with your colleagues, tell other notaries. We really want to be resources or helpful. And when we don't know all of the answers, we can either help find them or refer them, or at least like today, have a conversation and talk it all out, because we all have a different perspective depending on our own experiences, but we're here to help you. So I hope you all have a wonderful Martin Luther King Day. I hope that you get to spend some time with family or friends, or stay busy working. Wherever you are, stay warm, stay safe, and happy notarizing. I hope you all have a great day.
Thanks. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
What is this?
Shh. Is that Lexi I heard?
Yes. Doing her work here with me.
Bring in